Are we starting to see the pendulum swing in the Premier League? We have to talk, people. Because before a ball was kicked, me included, we pretty much all had Liverpool down as the favourites to win the league. And probably rightly so. They were the Premier League winners with the business that they did. Isak, Wirtz, Ekitike, Kirkes, Frimpong, etc. Top signings. But have we jumped the gun here? Is it Arsenal that are actually the favourites for the league? They have a settled team. They have many options, squad depth, quality in all areas that don't look like they need much settling in time. Or are we sleeping on City? Haaland's back to doing a madness, like an absolute madness. They had a little blip against Spurs, a little blip against Brighton, but they're back. They're winning football matches and they're doing it in an ugly way as well. So again, if it's same energy settings, have we not got to look at Arsenal and Man City and maybe look at the pendulum swinging? Or is it a simple case as we can finally have a 3-horse race, a 3-point shootout for the league title? Because actually, it is still too early to discount Liverpool as well. It is. It's just tight up the top and it's looking like we might actually be able to have a title race. We might. Let me know what you guys are saying. This is interesting, man. This is interesting because, and actually, this is not even a banter video. This is not like just trying to make fun. Like, this is real football talk, yeah? So get involved. Fans from, Arsenal fans, I want to hear what you guys are saying. Liverpool fans, I want to hear what you guys are saying. Man City fans, I want to hear what you guys are saying. I think, I've been very, very complimentary of Liverpool in terms of them finding a way to win football matches. It hasn't just been a thing of the first 5 games of this season before it's gone a little bit wrong. They did it all last season. And they are going for a period now that is tough. They are going for a period of adaptation.
Arsenal are favourites for the Premier League title now. Looking at their run of games they've got coming up, looking at Liverpool's mini crisis. Yes, I am saying Liverpool are in a mini crisis. The performance against Chelsea was very poor, and there are some key players in that Liverpool side that aren't stepping up and do need to be dropped. But right now, when you look at the fixtures coming up, when you look at the squad performing, the overall health of the squad, the fact that Odegaard has done his MCL, they're without Kai Havertz, they're without Gabriel Jesus, they're without Noni Madueke, but they still look strong as ever. They are still keeping clean sheets. And I've been saying this since game week 2, that the difference in the Premier League title race will be Arsenal's backline compared to Liverpool's backline. And are Manchester City back in the title race?
Yeah. I'm saying when Salah came out in the individual awards ceremony and he said Arsenal are favourites, they've been together for 5 years. People laughed at him, but listen to the logic. Imagine this is his 4th year challenging Arteta, and on top of all that, you plugged all the holes that you had this summer. So you're trying to remove the Arteta from Arsenal link and going like, it's not an Arsenal must, it's an Arteta must.
You're ignoring the point.
Actually, if you hire Conte tomorrow, also Conte must. So now what?
No, I know this is probably reason. If Arsenal had won a title before, right, we would all be saying, I believe that Arsenal will be the favourites going into this, based on squad, based on everything. Regardless, let's say Arsenal didn't win it last year, but won it the season before, and at the start of the season, who's most complete? We would say it's maybe even neck and neck. I think the only thing that's stopping Arsenal being tagged as favourites is because they haven't won it under Arteta.
True.
And there's another element to this as well. Had Arsenal have won a league title, everyone would agree Liverpool must. No problem with the transfer window. Because Arteta does have credit in the bank with a league title. The problem is he doesn't have any credit in the bank.
The Man City must.
Okay. Now you see this where I'm going to be completely honest. I think if City don't win the next 2 league titles, it's okay. Because Pep has been so dominant for the last 10 years. Even if in the next 2 years he wins no league title, he's won 6 and 10.
Do you see your logic?
So then exactly. You see where it breaks off. Why did they spend all that money then in the last 1 year? He shouldn't have spent, because he should have gone, guys, why they shouldn't? Because by your logic, they won 6 out of 8 league titles. So why do we need to spend?
City want to win because they have ambitious owners. That doesn't make it a must.
Okay. When was the last time?
About Arsenal being title favourites, would you obviously disagree?
I think they're in a far stronger position than even last season because of Gyökeres, because of Madueke. That squad, Zubimendi's coming on and changing games. Declan Rice is performing at a high level. And then you've got Eze. I mean, in previous seasons, Odegaard has picked up injuries. He has been a little bit in and out in terms of his starting minutes for Arsenal. You don't need Odegaard as much. I think he changes the game in a big way. He certainly did against Newcastle United. But now you've got Eze. Now you've got Ethan Manieri a year older with more development. They've got a very, very good squad.
By the way, I agree with that title. Arsenal are the favourites. I just don't think they'll do it. Because I do think
what are they
little
missing?
bit of... I think it's all up here,
mentality.
And I think Arteta's got a little bit... Look, full credit to him, top of the league. I thought the Newcastle result was a fantastic result for them. And I think it kind of makes the draw against Man City look a little bit better. But I just feel like Arteta at times can go too negative or overthink things sometimes. And that, I think, will eventually impact them. I also don't think Gyökeres is the guy. I still think that.
Look, realistically, it's going to come down to this. Arsenal are fantastic at the moment. The defence is clearly a title-winning defence.
Mm-hmm.
But the question isn't about this. The question comes down to a moment. Are they the best team in the country? Yeah, probably. Are they the best squad in the country? Definitely. But that isn't how you win leagues. It's a moments game. And realistically, Arsenal at some moment, probably in March, are going to have that moment. It's going to fall to Gyökeres. They're going to be playing Real Madrid on the Tuesday. They're going to be playing Man City on the Saturday. Are they going to win that Man City game? That's the moment.
They've got more players for that. Zubimendi's just won the Euros. Eze's he's probably crystal clear.
Do they have the manager? Okay, do they have the manager for that?
He's gonna have to adapt. But we saw it in the last couple of games where he's making halftime substitutions against Manchester City, against Newcastle United. So he's a little bit reactive in that regard. He's clearly seeing what's going on maybe on social media or certainly in the stadium how the fans are reacting. So he's definitely changing.
Picture this. This is a really realistic scenario I'm going to set you now. We're the 18th of April. Arsenal are top of the league by 2 points. On the 18th of April at 3 o'clock, Manchester City host Arsenal. If Man City win that game, they go a point clear of Arsenal. If Arsenal win that game, that is basically the league sewn up. They play Newcastle the following week as well, which is significant.
But yeah, Arsenal are proving the haters wrong, in my opinion. Not to say that in the summer, man was saying Arsenal aren't going to do shit, because you still had a decent window. But as in, I think obviously a lot of man were on Arteta for the handbrake thing and this and that. But results-wise, it's been looking good. Obviously, yes, they had the wobble, lost the Liverpool game. The City game maybe expected to. It was a good point in the end because you're 1-0 down, but maybe to be more on the front foot against City and not concede early on. But outside of that, it's not. It's been a lot better than what people have kind of given the open view to, innit?
And if you look at it as well, last year we lost against the likes of West Ham, we lost against the likes of Newcastle at these grounds.
Yeah.
And this season we've gone there and took 3 points, so that's a plus in itself. And remember, the whole notion last season was we kind of go 1-0 up and then we're getting these little 1-1 draws, bare draws. I'm not really seeing that too tough. If anything, I'm seeing that we're kind of nullifying most of the opponents that we're coming up against. Even when we played you lot at your ground, bro, respectfully, the free kick was mad, but we kind of nullified the likes of Ekitike was thriving before he come and played us. Soon as he played us, it didn't look the same. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
back pocket settings.
Yeah. It was that's what I'm looking at my team and the bench, innit? Like we've got 11 there that's ready to go, and then we're seeing the likes of Odegaard get injured. Saka get injured, and as Arsenal fans, we're sitting there going, man ain't really bothered because we know we got back up on the bench. Whereas in last season, when these men got injured, it was collapse. We had the likes of like Ethan and fucking like now Dowman and that. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I think it's just a plus for me, man.
But listen, people, I am going to flip-flop. And I don't do that often. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that very, very often. But I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that deep. It might be deep for other teams that I will talk about. Liverpool. But listen, there was a lot of talk last night. I don't know if you watched the Big Six, but it went off. Please go and check that Big Six video last night. It was madness, yeah. But we're talking about title races, and obviously we're not in no title race. But I said Liverpool would win the league. I said Liverpool would win the league. Who do I think must win the league is Arsenal, of course. Phase 6, spent a lot of money. Arteta's been there for a long, long while. He should be winning the league, right? But obviously, Liverpool came with a lot of money. a lot of money. And not that Arsenal haven't spent any money, because they have. But Liverpool, the money that was spent was unprecedented. It was absolutely humongous, bro. We're talking about closing in on what, 400 million plus? You know what I mean? I don't have the exact figures for those out there, and maybe you might put the net spend out there, so feel free to do so. But it's only 1 point, but I feel like there's a lot of things going wrong at Liverpool, man, and Arne Slot is getting it wrong. And when I look at Arsenal, I look at a team that, yes, handbrakes, yes, there's maybe teething issues and maybe style of play sometimes of Arteta not fully going attacking in certain areas, and maybe sometimes there's a dispute between how they play, not about maybe result. And there was a lot of draws last year, so style of play is important. Did Arteta, or has Arteta fully said, you know what, go and express yourselves, or has he gone a bit more defensive in certain aspects? And I look at Liverpool, it's a super team. It's an absolute brilliant team on paper. On paper, it's a brilliant team, but the balance is all wrong. And I don't know, right? And it is, again, still early on. I don't know if they fix this soon. And soon enough that Arsenal, if they gather momentum, which I do believe they will now, because they've had a tough start to the Premier League, and they've come out of it with, what, 1 loss? And that was to Liverpool for a free kick from Szoboszlai. They've come out of it, big win against Newcastle. Yes, the West Ham result is a routine win, but they went above Liverpool. Obviously, they lost. 3 losses in a row. We have to say that. Hold that, Liverpool. But people don't understand this here, but I don't want to predict Liverpool to win the league. I don't. Like, this is another thing as well that I have to address, yeah? And people don't get it, bro. I'm a Mancunian. I'm from Manchester, yeah? Big up the Peckham Reds. Big up the London Reds. Big up everyone around the world. Everyone supports their club the way they want to support. I will never, ever say to people, yo, you have to support it this way. But you see me, I live in Manchester. This way is Liverpool. This way is Manchester. I don't want any of them winning the league. None of them, bro. So for me to say, yeah, Liverpool going to win the league, yeah, it hurts me, bro. The reason why I'm backing Arsenal to win the league, because that's the right way and that's the only way. You feel me? That is what I want. This is what I need. And this is what I think now is going to happen, bro. That's why I'm predicting Arsenal to win the league now.
We've got to have a serious conversation about Arsenal, because you know me. I love to banter Arsenal. I like to take the mick out of Arsenal fans when I can. I love a bit of football banter. I like to slander Arteta when I can, because I think he's a bit of a miserable guy. But I'm honest. I'm honest about football. I think Julian Timber's been the best right back in the Premier League for the last year and incredibly underrated. I think Arsenal's defence is incredible. I think Saka is a world-class player. You know, as much as I don't like Arsenal, I like to be honest. And we've got to be honest about Arsenal, because right now, they are top of the Premier League right now, which is pretty mad, because a couple of weeks ago, not that they were in crisis, but it felt like, oh, Liverpool are just so clear of everyone, because Liverpool were finding ways to win games. Whereas I feel like sometimes with Arteta, my biggest criticism of him is when he plays Liverpool and he plays Manchester City, he plays for a draw, whilst Liverpool play to win. And I think, Arsenal need to go to Man City and go, you know what, we're better, we're going to try and win this game. They need to go to Liverpool and go, you know what, we're better, we'll try and win this game. Like, I feel like they still play for draws, and that would be my biggest criticism of Arsenal and Arteta. But look, they're top of the league right now, because Liverpool have had back-to-back losses, and they have Man United next. And Man United have not won back-to-back games under Ruben Amorim. And Man United have not won at Anfield in nearly 10 years. So imagine if Ruben Amorim goes to Anfield and does something crazy. I don't know. But Arsenal top of the league. Liverpool have dropped off a bit. They've been caught out a little bit. With Liverpool, they're either really good or they drop off a bit. And in that drop off bit, so they need something to boost them, which is probably where Man United come in, sadly. You can never rule City out of title race, but Arsenal may feel that this is their year. City is still sort of rebuilding. Liverpool, just dropping off. They don't have that defensive depth. Arsenal this summer did one thing really well, and that was just make sure their depth is elite. This summer, Arsenal went out of their way to make sure that they've got elite level squad depth. And we're seeing that because Odegaard, Saliba, Havertz and Saka have all picked up injuries, and it's not cost Arsenal a lot. Whereas I think in the past, it would have cost Arsenal more points already. Arsenal, when they were 1-0 down to Newcastle, would have lost that game last season, or maybe drawn 1-1. They wouldn't have made it 2-1. But this season, they made that game 2-1 in the last minute. Because there's something different about Arsenal this season.